Hi guys, Paul here. Today I'm going to do a video that was requested for me to revisit my top 5 shaving brushes. So today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm just going to go over my top 5 shaving brushes and kind of what I like in a shaving brush these days. And then that's going to be pretty much it. I'm not going to do any shave today. I'm just going to go over my top 5 brushes. And actually I have 5 honorable mentions, so it's actually kind of the top 10. And they're not in any particular order, at least the top 5 are not in any particular order. I just went, I'm just going to go down the line of the top 5 brushes that are currently my favorites. So to start out with, the first one is the Chubby 2. This is in the what the Simpson calls a Silvertip Badger. This is a 2-band Badger brush, and a little bit different than a lot of the Simpsons in that it's more of a bulb-shaped knot. The Silvertip Badger is actually softer than the Manchurian Badger, which is their other 2-band brush. And these are fairly uncommon. You don't see a ton of these around. I believe this hair is fairly hard for them to get, but I actually prefer this to the Manchurian Badger. To me, it has really good backbone. This thing has super backbone, and being a chubby, it's very, very dense. But the tips are very, very soft, much softer than the Manchurian Badger, which I really, really like. So there's one. That's the Simpson Chubby 2 in Silvertip Badger. Great brush. Next one is the Rooney. This is a Rooney 2XL, Heritage 2XL brush. And this is a 2-band brush as well. But as you can see, this is more of a fan-shaped knot. And the qualities of this knot are very similar to that Simpson brush. It's very dense, maybe not quite as dense as that Chubby 2, but the tips are very soft, and it's got really, really nice backbone. And a great face lathering brush. I really love this one. So there it is. The next one is the Seville Row. This is the, oh, now I'm going to draw a blank. I think this is the 3226. This is a 26 millimeter, they call this Finest Silvertip Badger brush. And this is really a great brush. It's got really pretty good, really good backbone, super soft, and just really performs great. This was actually I actually have 2 other Seville Rows. This was the first one I got, and this is still kind of my favorite. So anyways, there it is, the Seville Row 3226, I think this one is. But great brush. Again, another bulb-shaped knot. You're going to start kind of seeing a theme here. So next one is a Fader 4125 2-band. This Fader 2-band is a great brush. I love, again, the density, backbone, and the softness of this brush. It's kind of similar to the Simpson. It's nowhere near as dense as the Simpson, so not as much of a lather hog. Yeah, but it still has really, really good backbone, and again, bulb-shaped knot. So I really have, you know, when I first started out wet shaving and getting into shaving brush, I was really a big fan of the fan-shaped knots. But then as I got into face lathering, and after I first started using these bulb-shaped knots, I found that I actually kind of prefer these for face lathering. I think they seem to feel like they have a little bit more backbone, but yet you don't sacrifice the softness of the tip. So you can use like a really soft silver tip knot in there, like something like this, where if this was a fan, I'm sure this would probably feel, at least for me, maybe a little bit too floppy. But the bulb shape kind of gives it more backbone. So you can take a really soft brush, give it a decent backbone, and just feels a lot better. So you know, as time's gone on, I have kind of migrated toward the liking the more bulb-shaped knots. So anyways, this is actually a really good alternative to the Rooney and the Simpson. for guys that want a really soft brush, but with maybe more backbone than something like this Seville Row. And actually, Thader also makes a 3-band silver tip, which is great. That's pretty comparable to the Seville Row. It may have a tad bit more backbone because most of the Thaders I have tend to have a little bit lower loft. So if you look at it, you can see the loft is a little bit lower. These are both 26mm knots, but the Seville Row looks like it's bigger because the loft is higher and it's bloomed out more. And the Thaders tend to be set a little bit lower, so that gives them a little bit more backbone and gives them the feeling of having a bit more, maybe a little more density. Their 3-bands are really nice. They're really soft, have good backbone, are pretty comparable to the Seville Row. But I kind of like of the Thaders. I kind of just this 2-band kind of edges them out just by a touch, just because it's a little bit more backbone, and it's pretty much nearly as soft. So there you go, Thader 4125 2-band, and this is the 26mm. And the last in the top 5, but not least, is this thing. I was really surprised when I got this brush, and that's the Vilong Lord Randall, and that was and this is the silver tip model. My first Vilong brush I had, and the only one I had until I got this, was a Vilong horsehair brush, which I really don't like. It feels soft on your hand, but when you put it on your face, it is very prickly, and I just do not dig that at all. So I was a little bit apprehensive about buying this brush, but it came highly recommended, from Busta, and actually this was a great recommendation. I appreciate that. Every time I use this, I'm just thankful that he was kind of on my back to try this thing. So anyways, this brush is really soft, has great backbone. Even when it's dry, this thing is soft. Has great backbone and great performance. It's comfortable in the hand. I kind of like the little bit. I don't like really super long handles for the most part, but this one is long enough where when you're loading your soap and when you're face lathering, you're not getting lather all over your hands. It's got a nice little kind of indentation that it can grab onto, and it feels real secure. This is a 24mm knot, and this is a great brush, and is definitely one of my top 5s. So for honorable mentions, and maybe my second top 5, my 5 through 10, 6 through 10. You got to include the Simpson Duke 3. This is just a great all-around brush. Really a winner. I think this is probably one of Simpson's best-selling brushes, but it's a great brush. It's a classic for a reason. It's just a great brush, and as you can see, there's only really in this group 2 fan-shaped brushes, and this is kind of one of them. This is kind of the typical Simpson shape. It's sort of a hybrid, halfway between a bulb and a fan, and I really like these. Great backbone, good flow through, and actually for guys that where this might be a little too expensive for them, if they want a kind of a brush that's very similar in the feel on the face. Of course, the handle's completely different, but I would recommend checking out the Commodore X3. That brush costs about half as much as this brush, and the knot feels almost exactly the same. And I think that is probably one of the underrated Simpson brushes. It's probably one of the few brushes in their lineup that actually would be considered somewhat of a bargain. So anyways, Duke 3. Next one, this was a brush that was a group buy brush from Badger and Blade, and that's a Morrison Fordran Chief brush. This has the Morrison Fordran or the M&F Blonde Badger knot. Great knot, good backbone, soft tips, bulb-shaped knot, very similar to the Simpson Chubby and the Rooney and the Thader. Really soft, great backbone, nice springy bristles, 24mm knot, and it's got this kind of M7-ish sort of handle. which I really love. I love having that little knob on the end where you can kind of grab onto it, your fingers really lock in there, and this thing works great. So next one, this is a fairly new brush for me. This one was designed by Jeff Anderson and made in collaboration with Shave Mac, and I did a video on this a little while ago, a couple weeks ago. Basically, Jeff kind of likes to do the layering different materials, but and he did that same theme, but with an M7 style handle, which Jeff really likes, and I like as well. But this one has the newer Shave Mac 2-band knot, which I like a lot better than the 2-band Dio one, which is very scrubby. This one is nice and soft, but still has good density and backbone. So this is a great knot and a great brush. I think you can actually get, with Shave Mac, what's nice about them, you can pick your handle, pick your knot, and you can really customize your brush to what you like. So if you want this type of a knot, you can, and you don't really dig this handle, you can go onto their website and basically make your own custom brush, more or less. But there you go. And I think this is 24 millimeter, and it looks like it's someone asked me what the loft on this was. Loft on this looks like it's about 46 to 48 millimeters, so it's sunk down there pretty good. It's not a real high lofted brush, which for face lining, I like the knot to be set a little bit lower. I think that gives it a little bit more backbone. This next one's a custom brush that was made by Rod Neep. And this is kind of one of his signature handle shapes. This is the Dreadnought, and this is kind of this material is a combination of wood and resin that's mixed together, and this is his extra dense silver tip knot, and this is really an awesome knot, and I think this is supposed to be 26 millimeter, but it looks like it's more 24 millimeter, and it's set really, really low, which I love. This thing is super soft, and because of the low loft, the thing has just absolutely great backbone, and the handle is very, very comfortable. That little knob on the end, gives you something to hold on to, and you can lather without getting lather all over your hands. The last one that I'm going to talk about today is this is another custom brush. This was made by Rudy Vey, and a lot of guys are into synthetic knots, which I was very resistant about buying a synthetic knot. The first one I got was a travel brush I got from L'Occitane, and the thing was horrible. It was really scritchy and just totally sucked. But after all the fervor, I bought the Bullet and bought that Plisson synthetic, and I used it for a couple weeks, just pretty much every day. And I really began to appreciate that brush. I know a lot of guys think it doesn't have enough backbone or whatever, but that brush is really soft. It makes awesome lather, and it just works. And the nice thing about synthetics is you just rinse them off. You don't have to worry about the fibers breaking down. They're very durable. They dry quick, and they're great for travel and stuff. So this one was made by Rudy Vey. I love tulip-shaped brushes, and although I didn't put my Tulip 4 in this group, it's one I really like. But this one was made by Rudy Vey. It's a onyx handle material, and I always thought onyx was black, but onyx actually comes in a lot of different colors, and this actually kind of looks like a jade, but it's actually an onyx material. And this has a Miele silver tip fiber brush, and this one is 26 millimeters, and I like it because it has a little bit more backbone than the Plisson knots. Not knocking the Plisson knots, I love them, and I have two of them. I have one in a custom brush that was made by Scott Pavkovic, and I have the original Plisson, but I just like this one a little bit better. It's just as soft, has a little bit more backbone, and it's bigger, and I love this handle. It's a pretty beefy handle, easy to grab onto, and it's a great brush. So anyways, that's pretty much I guess it's pretty much in my top 10, not so much the top 5, but anyways, guys, and the top 5 are not in any particular order. Those are just the first 5 are my top 5 that I like, and the second 5 are like my next 5 that I really like. And I didn't put them, from 1 to 10, but anyways, there they are. So basically, nowadays, as I kind of alluded to earlier, what I'm looking for in a brush is I tend to prefer a bulb-shaped knot nowadays. I think it works better for my lathering technique. What shape knot you get, really, you know, whatever you like. You know, some guys really love fans, some guys love bulbs. I'm more of a bulb guy. I think, you know, some guys like more scrub, some guys like softer knots. I personally like the knot to have good backbone, but I like it to be soft. I don't like a real scrubby knot. I used to like those when I first started. I liked the brush to be a little more scrubby, but the more I've gotten into this, and the longer I've done it, the less and less I like real scrubby brushes. I tend to prefer a brush that's soft but has good backbone. I don't mind if the brush is dense and is a lather hog. I'll load more soap in there. Some guys hate that. I'll just load more soap. I don't worry about it. If the thing has good backbone and is soft and feels good on the face, I'm all in for it. So that's why most of these brushes now that are my favorites are pretty much bulb-shaped knots. I find that, you know, for the most part, the fan-shaped knots tend to feel more, you know, feel like they have less backbone to me. Actually, one of my first faders was a 2-band fan-shaped knot, and it's a great brush. It's very, very soft, but it has nowhere near the backbone as this 2-band bulb-shaped knot. This thing is, you know, feels much better and works much better. You know, it's not to say that the fan from Thader isn't good, but I think if you're going to get a Thader, what they're known for and what they're best at is these bulb-shaped knots. So anyways, guys, that's the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll respond to them as fast as I can. And I think I might do another video, like kind of a little shaving brush buyer's guide next time, just kind of go over kind of what are different options and different price ranges and things to look for and whatnot. So you know, look for that in the near future. Anyways, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.